In this video, we explore Chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, focusing on finding clarity in complex situations. We'll examine how ancient principles like discernment can be applied to modern leadership to reduce cognitive clutter and sharpen our decision-making. The chapter opens with the blind king Dhritarashtra, questioning Sanjaya about the gathering forces on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Symbolically, this represents the mind as a battlefield where ego and virtue collide, reminding leaders of the need for objective assessment and bias mitigation. Upon seeing the Pandava army's formation, Duryodhana approaches his teacher Dronacharya. This act reveals Duryodhana's underlying anxiety and his attempt to manipulate his teacher, showcasing the diplomatic cunning often born from insecurity. Duryodhana specifically highlights the Pandava army's strategic layout, designed by Drupada's son, Drishtadyumna. By pointing out that Drishtadyumna was Dronacharya's own student, Duryodhana attempts to stir up past rivalries and ensure the teacher shows no leniency toward the opposition. Duryodhana continues by systematically listing the formidable commanders on the Pandava side. By comparing these leaders to Bhima and Arjuna, he reveals both his deep respect for their strength and the significant anxiety he feels regarding the battle ahead. Shifting his strategy, Duryodhana turns his attention to his own side, naming his elite generals. By showing deep respect to Dronacharya and highlighting his own army's martial power, he aims to restore morale and instill confidence in his soldiers. Duryodhana continues his roll call of legendary warriors, including Bhishma, Karna, and Kripacharya. By publicly praising these powerful figures, he attempts to mask his own internal fears and solidify the loyalty of his military ranks. He further emphasizes the dedication of his vast allied forces, claiming they are prepared to die for his cause. This assertion of total devotion, however, carries a tragic irony, as his reliance on brute strength blinds him to the impending reality of their struggle. Despite his numerical advantage, Duryodhana expresses doubt, contrasting his own army with the Pandavas. His choice of words betrays deep-seated insecurity, suggesting that physical scale cannot overcome the moral alignment found on the enemy's side. Duryodhana then issues a critical command to his generals. They must station themselves strategically and protect Bhishma at all costs. This focus on defending his commander shows how much the army's morale depends on Bhishma's presence. Sensing the mounting tension, Bhishma sounds his conch like a lion's roar, signaling the start of the conflict. This act serves as a declaration of battle, transitioning the moment from strategic planning to intense, inevitable combat. Immediately, the entire Kaurava army joins in, creating a tumultuous wall of sound with conch shells and drums. This massive, deafening display of pageantry is intended to intimidate the Pandavas and project absolute military power. The Pandavas respond with divine confidence. Lord Krishna and Arjuna blow their own conch shells from their magnificent chariot. Their response is calm and purposeful, signaling that they possess divine protection and clarity. Each major leader on the Pandava side then sounds their own unique, named conch shell. This orchestration signifies not just readiness for war, but a unified moral authority that stands in stark contrast to the Kauravas' intimidation tactics. The collective sound of the Pandavas' conch shells creates a chorus of solidarity that shatters the opposition's resolve. This powerful moment demonstrates that true authority and the promise of victory lie with those aligned with righteousness and duty. The resounding sound of the Pandavas' conch shells echoes through the earth and sky, striking terror into the hearts of the Kauravas. This moment symbolizes the initial breakdown of the unrighteous, whose lack of conviction is exposed by the clarity and purpose of their opponents. Arjuna, seated in his chariot bearing the flag of Hanuman, prepares for battle. Taking up his bow as the conflict is about to erupt, he turns to Sri Krishna to begin a dialogue that shifts the focus from warfare to wisdom. Arjuna makes a pivotal request. He asks Krishna to position the chariot between the two armies. This serves a strategic purpose, allowing him to observe those he is destined to fight, while marking the beginning of his deep introspection. As a warrior, Arjuna seeks to inspect the battle lines to understand the motives and resolve of the opposition. His desire to identify those who have gathered to please the evil-minded Duryodhana showcases his tactical focus and commitment to justice. Fulfilling Arjuna's request, Sri Krishna drives the chariot into the center of the two great armies. This placement creates a dramatic pause, setting the stage for the profound shift from physical preparation to spiritual discourse. Krishna directs Arjuna to behold all the Kurus gathered there. By placing the chariot directly in front of Bhishma and Drona, Krishna forces Arjuna to confront the personal and painful reality of the battle ahead. Arjuna observes his grandfathers, teachers, friends, and kin arrayed on both sides. This moment is a powerful confrontation with his own life's foundations, testing his emotional resolve and his understanding of duty. Struck by the presence of his loved ones, Arjuna is suddenly overcome with profound sorrow. His previous confidence as a warrior gives way to an intense, compassionate crisis, marking the start of his emotional journey. Arjuna tells Krishna that his limbs are failing and his mouth is dry. This physical reaction highlights the visceral impact of his inner conflict, showing how mental distress can manifest as physical paralysis in high-stakes situations. Arjuna describes his body trembling and his bow Gandiva slipping from his hands. His reeling mind perceives only negative omens, demonstrating the depth of his confusion when facing the prospect of destroying his own kinsmen. Expressing his reluctance, Arjuna questions the value of victory, kingdom, or happiness if achieved at the cost of his relatives. He argues that material gain holds no meaning if the people he loves are no longer there to share it. He lists the many figures he respects, including his teachers and family members, firmly stating that he cannot bring himself to fight them. Not even the sovereignty of the three worlds, he insists, would make such an act worthwhile. Arjuna questions the pleasure of destroying his kinsmen, fearing the sin that will inevitably accrue from such actions. He finds the prospect of slaying his own family to be fundamentally contrary to his nature and peace of mind. He contrasts his own moral clarity with the blind greed of his enemies. Arjuna reasons that since he can see the grave consequences of this war, he has a responsibility to turn away from what he views as a criminal act. Ultimately, Arjuna warns of the destruction of family traditions. He argues that when these eternal values perish, irreligion will prevail, leading to moral decay and the eventual collapse of the entire community. This argument sets the stage for Krishna's forthcoming teachings. In this verse, Arjuna explores the decline of social morality. He notes that with the rise of corruption, women in the family become vulnerable, ultimately leading to unwanted social mixtures that threaten the purity of generations. Arjuna deepens his argument by discussing the consequences for the ancestors. He explains that when family structures collapse, the traditional offerings that sustain the spirits of past generations are abandoned, causing both the family and the destroyers to suffer. The discourse continues as Arjuna laments the ruin of ancient traditions. He argues that the destruction of family welfare leads to the loss of community values, leaving future generations without the spiritual guidance necessary for a stable society. Arjuna emphasizes that those who destroy their own family's moral foundation face eternal spiritual consequences. He cites traditional teachings that such actions result in a descent into a state of long-lasting misery and spiritual confusion. Reflecting on his internal state, Arjuna expresses his profound regret. He questions the wisdom of pursuing royal power at the expense of his own kin, even going so far as to suggest that dying unarmed would be preferable to fighting. Concluding this part of his account, Sanjaya observes that after speaking these words, a grief-stricken Arjuna casts aside his bow and arrows. He sinks back onto his chariot, overwhelmed by the emotional weight of the impending conflict. We hope this exploration of Chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita has been insightful. Thank you for joining us in contemplating these timeless teachings on duty, compassion, and the complexities of human decision-making. Visit our website for more resources.